Hello, I'm Markayla. If you're new here, I am a shamanic healer, alchemist, and channel. And every single week, I offer guidance for your week ahead. Today, I am going to do 3 different readings. So if you want to choose a number between 1 and 3, then you can go to the timestamp in the copy below the video, click on your chosen number, and it will take you straight to your reading. If you feel to watch more than one, please do so, whatever feels right for you. I will see you at your reading. If you chose reading number 1, the image I actually get for you is kind of walking. It feels like you've been on your own for a while, or maybe not literally, but you have felt emotionally on your own and unsupported. And it feels like the pathway you've been walking has felt quite relentless, quite challenging, and lonesome. And actually, what's coming through for you is that it's going to change. This situation is going to really profoundly change. And you are going to feel able to stop and to feel the sun on your face and realize that there are people around you who can support you and empower you and help you. And I think this is a big part of this experience that is manifesting for you. It's understanding that you don't actually have to do it all on your own, and having the courage to let people in. There are a few subtle elements going on here. So I'm just going to talk to them and you can see what resonates for you. The first one is you may be a bit of a perfectionist, which is why you have felt it's been difficult to rely on others. And this is a really big learning lesson for you, because your perfectionism comes from a really strong belief that you're not enough. And so your coping mechanism is to try to perfect everything. But this is profoundly exhausting for you. Your nervous system has really had a challenging time with this. And so what's coming in, I feel, and if you haven't already watched my video about the equinox, please do, because all the readings this week I feel are representative of this momentum of energy that is building towards this equinox that we're coming into on the 21st. And really understanding this from a contextual perspective, I think might be helpful, because the equinox is all about us finding a balance. And this perfectionism that you are experiencing and have been experiencing for a long time is an aspect of you that's not in balance. And that's why it's really coming up very strongly for you right now, because it's something that needs to be readdressed and transformed, healed, alchemized. So the other aspect or perspective around this reading is this sense of overwhelm. And the energy of it is that overwhelm has just become this sense of this state of being. You feel overwhelmed, or even a low key sense of overwhelm, very easily. And it's been a big part of your life. And this is the energy that's coming up for you to recognize that the reason you feel so overwhelmed so often is because of the amount of self-critiquing that is happening. It's actually not because of what has to happen in your life, though there might be a lot of things that need to happen. Your approach to those things would feel so much lighter if you weren't so in your head about what you have to do, why you have to do it, how you're going to do it, if you can do it. And it's this overwhelming narrative actually that creates the exhaustion. It's not really what is required. It's not the physical experience of things, it's the mental experience. That's where the overwhelm is coming from. And so really I feel that however this energy is landing for you, there has been this sense of challenge, discomfort, which has manifested perhaps in perfectionism and perhaps in exhaustion. These are just two examples. But whatever it is for you, the guidance is it's coming to an end. And the reason it's so strong right now is because it's a pattern that needs to be met, needs to be acknowledged, not just being in the pattern. Oh, I'm exhausted or overwhelmed again. Oh, the perfectionism is coming up again. These are not things we need to live with. These are patterns that our soul presents us with to give us the opportunity to go deeper into ourselves, to bear witness to the parts of us that create these patterns, the wound in ourselves that is being articulated through our behaviors. And so if this is coming up for you, I really recommend that you give yourself the space and time to prioritize sitting with this pattern and seeing what healing can be done to help it dematerialize, so it doesn't have to be a pattern, so it can be brought into completion. And this is really deep work. Pattern transformation is powerful stuff. So do reach out for help. See a therapist, a healer, anyone that you know, that you trust. You can reach out to me. I do a lot around this work, but really do support yourself. Patterns are very hard to see sometimes. And because we're so attached to them, often unconsciously, when other people, uninvited, do things that present us with our patterns, we get really triggered. And so receiving help with patterns can be tricky because they're often very close to our hearts unconsciously, because there's a level of safety and this is just who I am, right? Because there are patterns, we've become so attached to them, we just think that's who we are. And that's why having an outside perspective is so helpful, because it gives us the opportunity to receive a new perspective that can help us perceive ourselves through a new lens and therefore enable us to transform something. So if that resonates, wow, this week is a real gift for you, because it's giving you the opportunity to transform, to evolve, to expand. And this week coming up is really all about this. It's such an opportunity for us to prepare for this shift, this equinox, what used to be the new year. Please go and see that video. And give us this sense of empowerment so that we can move into the energy that's coming in post the equinox in a really powerful way. I'm also offering weekly live stream sessions to help us stay connected to the Earth's crystalline energy grid, because this is going to be a really powerful time this year. And I really wanted to offer something that would act as an anchor, an energetic anchor, to keep us all as grounded and connected as possible in the frequency of love. So if this is something that you would like to tune in with me just on a weekly basis, it's like going to a yoga session or, just an hourly drop-in where we can all come together and just maintain this sense of powerful, heart-led anchoring. The details for this are also in the copy below the video. If this resonates, I look forward to seeing you there. Otherwise, I will see you again next week for your reading. Lots of love. Take care. If you chose number 2, the message that's coming through really strongly for you is being invited to really level up. It's a really powerful time for you from an empowerment perspective, because you have been coasting a bit. This might not be very obvious to you, but what's coming through is you have, for quite some time, been in a place of feeling quite secure in yourself. And though your comfort zone has, flexed and warped at different times in the last year or so, generally speaking, you've been able to navigate things pretty powerfully. And what's happening at the moment might be really pushing that comfort zone, because what's coming through is that you're really ready to be bigger. And even though you understand this and you're already doing it and you've called this in and you want it, it's like at the moment, the parts about being bigger that did scare you a bit are the bits that are being pressed on, because everyone's always wanting to step into the new and experience the expansion and have this profound lift moment, this moment of satisfaction where everything's in flow and everything's pouring in and it all feels wonderful. But there's always, along with that, this level of discomfort, growing pains, I suppose, is probably a good way to put it. And I feel that's where you might be right now. And yet, I'm not telling you anything new. Firstly, you probably know this. Secondly, you also know that this is working for you, and that this discomfort, as unpleasant as it is so helpful, and it is tackling the aspects of you that you knew needed some support and some work and some transformation. And so it's not really that there's anything new to add to this for you this week. It's more about fully acknowledging where you're at. There's some really beautiful things opening up for you in your life right now. And I feel like you're getting clearer and clearer on where you're going and what you would like this to look like. And yeah, as I say that, what's coming through is, and there could be some shifts in that. You might think you know where this is going, but and it's not a bad thing. I think if anything, they're just saying there's more. It's going to be bigger than you expect, and it's going to be so fun, they're saying, which is really cool. Along with this other, you know what they are? They're the childhood aspects of you saying, is it safe? Is it safe? I really like this, but it kind of, it's a bit scary. It's a bit challenging. And these are the parts of you that you're feeling right now. And equally, these are the parts of you that you are fully aware of. And all I'm going to say to you for this week in terms of guidance is, well, I'm just going to cheer you on, basically, because amazing. But also, really take the time to sit with these parts of you. They're so valuable. They're not to be dismissed or suppressed. I know you won't suppress them, but don't dismiss them either. They are the golden aspects of this pathway. They're really golden. The high-flying stuff is easy. That can come at any time. But these little aspects, they're not so little, firstly. They come in deep-seated, rooted stuff from childhood. Just really pay them their dues, because when everything within you is aligned, oh, wow, is this going to hum? This whole experience is going to be so sublime. And that's what your soul self wants for you. It wants this really profound satisfaction to be experienced, and meeting all these different parts of you that are feeling a little bit jaggedy or a bit, is this really possible? Am I really worthy of this? Oh yes, humdinger, that one. Am I really worthy of this? Yes, you are. That's why it's happening. And this little part of you just wants a bit of reassurance and support as you do this. And so that really is what's coming in for you this week. Pay attention to these parts of you. Don't just stay fixated on the big shiny things. Look at the smaller shiny things, because they've all got gold for you. And if you haven't seen the equinox video I've posted already, please do, because it's all about balance. And this is, of course, going to speak to this week, because the equinox is on the 21st. It really is a part of this journey, finding this balance between our inner child, our golden inner child, and our elder. Who these parts of ourselves that we are, our inner child, our present, and our elder. Like we are all these aspects at all times. And so the invitation is to embrace all of you in every moment. And this is what's coming up right now. It's just these little bits of you that need some TLC. And with that, you will come into this place of harmony that is going to be so yummy and just sublime. That's a word that keeps coming. Also, I am doing a weekly crystalline energy transmission. This is a live stream session you can drop into like you would a yoga class or anything like that. And essentially it is to help us maintain our equilibrium, stay connected to the frequency of love in the Earth's crystalline grid energy. So if this feels like it resonates, just check out the copy below the video and you will see a link. There's also a link in this corner, and join me. And I will see you there. Have a wonderful week, if not, and I'll see you next week for your reading regardless. So much love. If you chose number 3, the message that's coming through for you is, it feels as though you're giving birth to something. And this could be a new business, a new relationship, a new neighborhood, whatever it is, it feels like something new is being accepted into your experience, and it feels a bit messy. It feels maybe a little bit chaotic, or just a lot, not bad or good, just a lot. Or maybe it feels bad and good in many different ways all the time, who knows? But it's just this, like, I'm getting this kind of messiness, and it's literally like the birth process, which is messy but so beautiful and all about creation. And this is really and what's also coming through is that some of you might be feeling this really strong desire to create and not giving yourself permission to do so, and it feels really uncomfortable in you right now. And that's because there's so much momentum that wants to birth through you. You are a vessel through which the creative life force wants to move, and it wants to do it passionately and powerfully and creatively, and it wants you to have fun in the process. So this week is really about surrender, because the more you can just stop fighting you, stop trying to do things a certain way, and let it just be messy. Whatever it is that's happening right now, let it be messy, because there is creation in the chaos. And equally, there might be people that will be upset if you let it be messy, and that's no bad thing, because they are being invited to hold space for these experiences, to hold greater space for the messy things. And in the process of doing that, their capacity for life will improve and increase. So don't be the caretaker for other people's feelings. Let it be messy if it needs to be messy. Let it move through you. If you feel to do something you wouldn't normally do that feels a bit naughty or a bit extra, just do it. Don't think too much. Just really follow the impulses this week, because you're really being pushed to break out of your comfort zone in a way too, in ways that you would never normally allow yourself. And for some of you, this sensation will have been building for years, and it feels like right now it's almost impossible to avoid. And so really let it rip. Get messy, get creative, say what you need to say, do what you need to do. Just follow that desire as it moves through you, and fearlessly follow your heart. That's what heart-led means. People confuse heart-led with being nice to everybody. This is not the case. In fact, that's just a hangover from religion. This is heart-led is about fearlessly following your heart. And that means speaking your truth when it's not received well. That means leaving situations and going somewhere completely new because it feels like the right thing to do. It means being selfish, really. When we're self-led, we can still offend people around us, but it comes from a different place within us. It doesn't come from a desire to control other people, to get our way over other people. Self-led is about trusting that what is coming through you is right for you and acting from that place, even if it conflicts with what other people think is your story. This is really a powerful area to explore, and it's super challenging at times because we all have been so conditioned to please each other. And yet being heart-led, speaking your truth, acting from that place, and being really clear in yourself about what is coming through you. Is this coming from a place of love or a place of fear? And that's when you can get super clear on what the driver is within you. And love is always about expanding and creating. And so if you can use that as a Geiger counter, is this desire coming from a place of love or coming from a place of fear? That will really help you discern what's coming through you. Is it coming from your ego or from your heart? And when you follow the desires that come from your heart, even when they scare you, that's when you're really becoming heart-led. You're becoming a fearless light bearer, and there's nothing more powerful. Wow, what a week. We have the equinox coming up on the 21st. I have done a video on it. Please do watch it. It gives you a lot of context around what's going on right now. And I have also decided to run weekly crystalline energy transmission sessions. And this is a live stream session that you can drop in with like you would a yoga session. And it's essentially to help us all ground into the frequency of love that the crystalline grid of the earth is always offering, and to just anchor us and keep us steady as we go through what could be a really big year. So if that resonates for you, just look at the copy below this video and you can find a link to join me. In the meantime, have a beautiful week. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.